I have a head start here. I created a few mountains here. In fact, I just noticed I have a typo here. This should be Everest. So you can see we have lat long objects for each mountain. So I have Everest. So this is the latitude and longitude for Mount Kilimanjaro, the same, and the Alps. Of course, the Alps is not just one mountain, but I just found one and I put the lat and long here. Okay, so go ahead and do that. These you can find, of course, if you do what we did before, which is you just go around, type in Google Map, and type in Alps, for instance, and I just picked the one there. You right click, you can go to what's here, and voila, you can see there it is. Okay. It doesn't matter exactly if they're accurate, but it just matters that we're just trying to create something real fun here. Very good. So we have our lat long mountains there. So inside of our main, that's where we're going to go and create our markers, right? Next, I'm going to create markers here for each one of those. So first of all, so let's go say private. I'm going to say marker type. There we go. And I'm going to call this Everest, Kilimanjaro, private marker, the Alps. Now that we have our markers as instance variables there, let's go inside. So inside on map ready, because this is where our map object is ready. This is where we're going to go ahead and create our markers. So before we do anything, let me move this piece of code here right about there, right in the beginning. Okay, that's more appropriate. So let's go ahead and start creating our markers. So we have all these instance variable markers. Let's start with Everest. I'm going to copy that and come down here. I'm going to say Everest is equal to what? I'm going to say map, because we go through the object map to create a map, a marker. So dot add marker. Look at that. The add marker method allows us to put a marker options object. You'll see in a second here. So once we have our marker, it says, hey, okay, we have the marker. We are adding it to our mountain, right? Lat long we created earlier. Now it's asking, okay, we need to pass the marker options object. Okay, that would allow us to do all sort of things like what kind, as you can see at the bottom here, the position, we can add title, we can add icon, and all sort of things. So I'm going to say new marker options dot position. Look at that. The position I'm going to pass is going to be what? Everest position, which is lat long. All right, very good. Put that in a new line. And we can stop there, but we won't, because we have all sort of things that we want to do. The next thing we're going to add, let me give it space there. Let's add an icon. In this case, I can go ahead and say bitmap factory dot default, and I'm going to pass a bitmap factory. Let's give it orange. All right. I can come and add. Okay. Next, I'm going to add a title here. So the title, I'm going to say Everest. Okay. Very good. So now we have our event mark. So now we have our Everest marker. So we're going to do the same thing for others. Come up here. Let's say marker Kilimanjaro is equal to map dot add marker, new marker options dot icon. Let's start with position. I'm going to say Kilimanjaro. What did we say? It's Mount Kilimanjaro. That's the differentiation there. Dot title. I'm going to say empty Kilimanjaro. Let's add dot icon. Bitmap descriptor. I'm going to make it default and pass here a different color by invoking. Let's do Azure like that. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing with the next one, which is the Alps. Okay, so the Alps. Marker options. This has to be the Alps marker. You saw that problem there. Okay, so there we go. Let's go start with our position. Alps. There we go. Start with the title. Say the Alps. And we're going to add our icon. I'm going to pass here descriptor, and let's go with yellow. Don't forget semicolon. Let's save this and restructure everything. Very good. So we've created all of our markers, the Everest, we have the Alps, and Kilimanjaro markers. Very good. Now how do we go about getting all of these written or all of these showing in our map? Okay, because at this point here, notice we have to come down here and say map that move camera and pass our binga as that. Well, to simplify our lives, what we're going to do, we're going to create an array list at the top here. I'm going to say private array list, which is going to contain markers like that. Okay, called marker array list. Very good. And next, what we're going to do is each time we create our markers, we're going to go ahead and add that marker inside of our array. So I'm going to say array list, say list dot add. I'm going to add a Kilimanjaro marker. Very good. I'm going to go ahead down here as well. I'm going to say marker list dot add Alps marker. Very good. And I'm going to come down here and say list dot add Everest marker as well. Very good. So now our marker list should have those three. So what I'm going to do, actually, let me go ahead and comment all of this out. This was old news. We'll get back to it. There we go. And just to show you that these markers, of course, exist inside of our marker list, I'm going to just create a for loop here, advanced for loop. I'm going to say marker, marker, in from marker list like that. And then I'm going to loop through. What I'm going to do, I'm going to actually log D. In this case, I'm going to go ahead and say marker. Look at this, because each marker that we're getting from our marker list is a marker type. Now we can actually invoke certain methods on that. So we can get ID, we can get title, we can all sort of things that we can get. Okay, very good. What we want is just get title for each of the items that we've added. Now let's go ahead and add this, create a constant field for our tag there, so we can use across our activity, say maps. Okay, very good. So now every time we run, we should see our log showing all the titles that we have. Okay, let's go ahead and see if this actually works. Run. And of course, we should see just in, oops, something is not right. Looks like the error here says, let's see, looks like we're invoking something that is null. So our array list is an object reference null. So null object reference. Yes, we know what happens here. It's because we create our array list, but we actually never instantiated. That is the beauty of Java, I guess. Let's go ahead and instantiate here. So you call new array list. Very good. Because we can add anything to something that doesn't exist, can we? Let's run this. You can see there's the map there. Okay, that's totally fine. But check this out. And you can see all of the items are added there, right? So we have one in Kilimanjaro. Of course, you click, it says Kilimanjaro. And click this one here, it says the Alps. Let's find this one here. That's going to be Everest. Very good. And that was about it. Very good. So all of them are added. But also notice that inside of here, let's go to our logcat. We should be able to see, let's see, we call map. Look at that. It's showing all of our maps there, right? So Mountain Kilimanjaro, Alps, and Everest, because we said we want to get the title. Okay, that's very handy. But the cool thing also that we can do here, because at this point here, they are being added automatically, which is fine. But because we want to have more leverage of our markers here, let's go ahead and learn how to add all of those maps in a for loop. The first thing we need to do, of course, is I'm going to create a lat long object here called lat long is equal to new lat long. Now, where do we get this lat long that we need? Because we need a lat long, which is the position to pass around here inside, so we can actually create all of these items automatically using a for loop here, right? Well, we know that we have our marker, which is going to be each of these markers that we added, right, from our list. So we can actually invoke the get latitude and longitude. So I'm going to say marker dot get position, look at that, which is a latitude and longitude. So in this get position here, it has both longitude and latitude, but I want to get in this first one the latitude. right? In the next, I'm going to do the same thing. Get position, get longitude, like that. Very good. So now this new lat long is getting, each time we are running, each time we iterate through our marker array list, we're getting the latitude and longitude. Okay. So this means then I can say map, right? Our map object dot add marker as such. And I'm going to say pass new marker options. Now, what are these marker options that we're going to pass here? Well, we're going to pass the position, which in turn allows us to pass our latitude and longitude, like that. Now, the beauty here is that we can do exactly what we did before, override a few things. For instance, I can say I want to add different icons and so forth, and we can come down here and take this old code, our old friend, which calls the move camera. I'm going to copy that and put just right here. Instead of Binga now, what are we going to pass? Well, we're going to go ahead and pass lat and long, because that is going to go and iterate through and get all of those maps like that and get all of those markers. So now if we save this, let's give it a run. Oh, voila. So we went and got the first one and zoomed in. We can go and find the other one, or we can get the normal. There we go. You can see, right? Click. It's going to say Mount Everest because it's all zoomed in. We can go and say command like that, or I can come down here and change this to about 4, so we can see other places as well. And we should see there's Nairobi. Should see another one in Europe there. There we go. So there it is. The Alps, when you click, change that color, and voila, it's working nicely. And one thing you notice here, this may seem like an overkill. In fact, at this point, it kind of is an overkill because you notice that each time we actually are adding into our map object, when we say add marker, we are actually already adding the mountains, positions, everything. In fact, you saw even before we ran this for loop here, before we had anything, we were also still able to see all of the markers. I showed you this, like I said, because I wanted to show you how to loop through the actual markers and get everything set up if you have a lot of markers around. But the cool thing you can do, in fact, I would like you to do here, instead of creating the actual markers, you can just create a few marker options. And then here you put inside of our marker options object, and then you put in an array like we did here, and then we instantiate just like we did here lat long, and then you can invoke the marker options dot, and you get position like we did here. Went through the marker and then say get position and then get longitude, but we can actually get position through our object marker options. Right? This may seem a little bit confusing here, but I think you can figure out a way in which you can make this less overkill, because we're adding to the map and then we're adding to the map again. So this is kind of redundant in so many ways, but nevertheless, this works. Figure that out and see if you can come up with a better solution here. All right, I'll see you next.